These are some of the absolute top starter builds this season, dominating all the way from the campaign to the endgame. On top of that, they're tested and bait-free, making sure you won't have to ditch the builds halfway through the campaign and quit the game. And while there are other builds out there that are stronger in the endgame, you either need to sell your kids and spend a gazillion divines obtaining them, or they're just not discovered yet. So stay a while, find your build, and I'm confident you'll enjoy the season until then. We'll cover one build per weapon type, starting with the bow, and of course, the most played build in the entire game, because there is a reason this build is so popular. Yes, that's right, because your favorite money-begging Muppet streamers are playing it. But there's also another reason. It's good, and therefore, I couldn't leave it out of this video. So, what makes this build so fantastic then? Well, shit, for starters, Lightning Arrow has always been good. It provides excellent clear and AoE, and it's a lightning skill, making it inherently strong as you're shocking enemies. All you do while mapping basically is hold down Lightning Arrow and everything solves itself out. And while its single target damage is absolute dog shit, it's easily combined with Lightning Rod to solve that issue. And better yet, to truly one-shot all bosses, we slap on the Tornado Wombo combo popularized by Sires last season and yoinked by more popular streamers this season calling it their own. We simply use this by slapping on Tornado as well. Barrage, pull in all arrows, copy them, and send them out again for a humongous damage boost. It's a lovely feeling pulling it off. And when it comes to the requirements and progression, what does that look like? That's probably the best part. You get Lightning Arrow at level 1, so you just grab it, follow a leveling guide, and honestly, you don't even need to do that because it's so simple to play, and you're set. When it comes to the Ascendancy, however, you do have an additional option here. While everyone in this game, including their fucking grandma, dog, and toaster, are playing Deadeye, you do have the option to just go Amazon as well, making it way cheaper to gear for, as you can just snatch up some cheap-ass accuracy gear and you're on your way to endgame. Great, huh? Yeah. For the next build, it's time to fist some buttholes with the new and improved Unarmed Monk. I'll involve this build, along with the others, in the description. I'll place them in a tier list, so you can easily just find all of the skills in an attached written guide below with POB links and everything you'll need. With that said, let's focus on the Monk. This guy has a lot going for it. He's not bald, unlike you. He's also not a fat bastard with hemorrhoids. But better yet, he got this new key, passive, Hollow Palm. Not only is this cool as hell, but it's also fantastic early on, as you won't have to keep replacing your quarterstaffs. And when it comes to the builds, which ones do I recommend? Well, for endgame, I'd recommend Ice Strike, and I'd recommend you to stick with Hollow Palm until you've found an absolute banger of a quarterstaff. For leveling, however, I'd personally rather go with Stormwave and Tempest Flurry in the campaign. This is simply due to the fact that you'll get gang-banged by enemies early on, and you'd rather fight at range, combined with having Tempest Flurry for nuking down bosses. But in endgame, Ice Strike easily wins, providing stronger, clear, smoother gameplay and additional mobility. And with some clever comboing, you can get nasty one-tapping potential via Falling Thunder. With that said though, there's nothing stopping you from continuing on with Stormwave and Tempest Flurry if you prefer. Alright, and what else do you need to know about the build? Well, not much really. Stormwave is unlocked as a level 7 skill gem. Until then, you simply go Lightning Arrow as you unlock it instantly, and use that until then. On top of that, unlocking Hollow Palm is a few cluster down in the passive tree, and you preferably don't want to run a quarterstaff unless you have to early on, simply due to the gangbang reason mentioned earlier. Overall though, the Hollow Palm builds and Monk are looking fantastic this season. You can of course also run it with Deadeye, but from a role-playing standpoint, that's just not cool, man. For the next weapon type and class, we're checking out the shit-smearing warrior guy. Now, this class is my favorite one, and I'll tell you why. It's fucking badass. And while everyone is trash-talking it about being bad, it's definitely not. For leveling, rolling slam, bone shatter combo has been the name of the game for ages now. Basically, you prime enemies for a heavy stun, followed by using bone shatter, and they'll all die while exploding via Herald of Ash. This has been a staple of the warrior, or rather mace classes, allowing it to top the leveling races simply due to it being absolutely disgusting for clearing from early on in the campaign. And for bossing, you throw in Perfect Strike, having the nastiest base damage of all early warrior skills, and you'll make quick work of them as well. But perhaps you knew all of this already, as you're now in the end game. And what the fuck should you play there then? You're in luck. Because it's all about fissures, baby, and it's the most fun shit ever. Alright, so what even is a fissure? Well, if you've ever bled from your anus, then it's not unlikely that you've experienced a fissure already. But this time around, we're putting them on fire to create molten fissures. This, my friends, is a must-play, extremely satisfying playstyle. Now, to spawn these fissures, you have a few ways to choose from. This way, which I think works great with Clear, is utilizing the Crater Gem to spawn fissures from leap spam and boosting the amount of fissures via your support gems and passive tree. Doing this, you're covering the screen in fissures every time you leap, while also gaining the lovely mobility from jumping around like a coked-up rabbit. The other way of doing it, which deals nasty amount of damage on bosses or elites, is throwing out forge hammers and blowing them up via your war cries. Slower clear, but massive damage. Alright? And to get started, what do you need to know? Nothing, really. Other than that, I definitely recommend starting with the leveling version, using it to get through the campaign quickly, and then swap to the fissures. Next on the agenda, we have the Erectile Dysfunction Lich build. We briefly covered this last season, and honestly, not much has changed from last season when it comes to playing it. But if you haven't tried it yet, you definitely have to, because it's one of the most satisfying builds out there. In a nutshell, it functions via Essence Drain and Contagion. You curse enemies with Essence Drain, they die, and Contagion spreads said curses like chlamydia at a Coachella festival. That's basically the bulk of your gameplay right there all the way from early on in the campaign. And while you could just do this for the rest of the season, there are a few ways to optimize your damage. While leveling, for example, throwing in some bonus storms for bosses is going to significantly boost your damage, or you can even run minions. But either way, single target is unfortunately always going to be lacking, but the clear, oh man, that's another story. And not much changes throughout the campaign to endgame, so if you find yourself enjoying it, you just keep playing, making some small changes to optimize your damage. Alright, next let's check out what I'll be going for next personally, some crossbow action. And while you can absolutely play the mercenary for this, I'd only recommend it if you want to go for the tactician and play around with minions. Just make sure you have consent. Personally though, I'm going Deadeye X Bow. For leveling, I'd go with Lightning Arrow and Lightning Rod. Just do it. It'll get you through the campaign fast as hell. For endgame though, this is when the fun times start, and we can rock my favorite build of all time. Explosive Shot. And how does it work? For mapping, it's easy peasy, and why I love it, you press your explosive shot as much as possible, and everything around you just dies. The explosives split, they fork and they explode, basically granting you a screen-wide clearing button. And when it comes to bossing, it's also a fantastic build. All you need to do is some preparations by throwing down flash grenades and explosive grenades and having them explode via explosive shit. Doing this will instantly stun the boss, and with some additional support gems that you'll have to read the guide for, you lazy bastard, you'll allow yourself to just hold down the explosive shot button. Lovely, huh? Indeed, I can definitely recommend this one. For the final build of the day, we have what used to be one of everyone's favorite classes, now turned to shit. Or is it? Nah man, it's still incredible. While I admit it's a bit on the slower side while leveling, it still have some bonker builds in the endgame. But starting with leveling, you'll generally start with the same build as the Witch, that is, ED and Contagion, until you've unlocked some actual skills, simply due to it being broken early. But once you're in Act 2 or so, it's time to dominate with Arc for the rest of the game. But to understand why, you need to understand the new mechanic Infusions, because it so happens that this is the reason that Stormweaver is good in the first place. It's easy access to Infusions. So basically, some of your skills now drop a glowing thing on the ground. You pick it up, and your other skills gain a buff of sort. For early game, you're generally going to drop an Orb of Storms to do this, gain a Lightning Infusion, and buff your Arc with a shit ton of damage. For endgame, however, this feels a lot better because you now have a bunch of ways of doing this automatically. For example, just slap on the Siphon Elements meta gem, allowing you to gain infusions as long as you shock, freeze, or ignite, which you'll do with ease, and you'll gain unlimited infusions. Alright, that's the last one. Check out the build guides and creators, drop a sub, and I'll see you in the next one.